All right, so in this lesson, we're going to talk about money market funds and money market accounts. Money market funds are types of mutual funds that invest in very short term debt instruments. Remember that a debt instrument is money that you loan to a corporation or a government. And by short term, I mean 90 days or less. So, money market fund holds debt that matures in 90 days or less and pays interest. Money market funds are held in brokerage accounts. Money market accounts, not money market funds, but money market accounts, are a type of bank account. This type of bank account also invests in short term debt instruments that mature in 90 days or less and pay you interest. The value of a money market fund or account does not fluctuate. So the goal here is to keep a dollar worth a dollar no matter what. So a dollar will be worth a dollar no matter what. That's the goal of the money market fund, money market account. The difference here is that you collect interest along the way, typically every month. So this is different than a bond that can fluctuate in value. A money market fund will typically keep the same value of a dollar no matter what. So money market funds, money market accounts, your dollar is worth a dollar, and then you get paid interest because they hold debt instruments that are maturing in 90 days or less versus, let's say, bonds that, they can mature a year or longer, so there's more room for the value to fluctuate there. Let's talk about money market funds. They come in different flavors, so there's different types of money market funds. Some invest in taxable debt, and some are considered tax-free. So debt that's not taxable by either the federal government or the state government. Some invest in short-term debt of the U.S. government, like T-bills, and some invest in short-term debt of corporations, known as corporate paper. Some money market funds invest in a mix of both. So you'll want to speak with your tax person so you can determine which type of money market fund is better for your tax situation. Maybe you live in a state that offers high state tax rates, so maybe you want to invest in a money market fund that invests in United States treasuries. That way you don't get subject to state tax, only the federal tax. Maybe you're in a state that doesn't do state tax, so maybe it's okay for you to invest in a higher taxable type of money market fund. So that's something that you'll want to know your tax situation and work with a tax advisor if you don't. So typically who will invest in a money market fund or money market account? It's typically someone who they have cash, right? They're not willing to put it at risk. Maybe they're going to use that cash for something here very near term, and they can't afford to have that fall in value at all, but they do want to generate some kind of interest. So typically that's who will invest in money market funds, money market accounts, people who need that cash in the near term, but they don't want to do any type of risk with it. So how can you make money with a money market fund? Well, basically you earn interest. You say you put $1,000 in a money market account and it earns 3%. Well, in that account you can expect to earn $30, and you'll have $1,030 after it pays you the interest. All right, so real quick, let's go over the pros and cons. The pros here is that you earn interest, right? It's better than not earning interest, just sitting there in your bank account. Because that's earning like 0.003% or whatever they're paying right now. The cons of money market funds is that they're not insured by FDIC. So if the fund goes bankrupt, you won't be getting saved by the FDIC. Remember that the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, is the entity that insures bank accounts in case If the bank goes bankrupt, you get your money back from the FDIC. Money market fund is a mutual fund, so it's not getting bailed out by the FDIC. Now, that's not to say that, you're at huge risk there. A money market fund is, they invest in they invest in debt that's 90 days or less, so it's not a whole lot of risk there unless something really bad happens in the next 90 days. Another con is that during the 2008 financial crisis, some money market funds did dip below the value of a dollar. Remember that a money market fund is intended to keep your $1 invested as $1 value, and you'll generate interest along the way. Well, during 2008, some funds did dip below a dollar as the underlying debt instruments were not deemed as safe and banks started failing. So this is a rare event, but it is something to think about when you start labeling investments as safe or guaranteed. Just remember that, nothing in life is guaranteed. So how risky are money market accounts, money market funds? So because of what happened in 2008, I'm going to say that money markets are slightly more risky than T-bills. The United States government has never defaulted on its obligations, so that's why they are safer than money markets. If you haven't watched that video, you can go back, and I did a video about United States Treasury bills. So I have them as safer than money market funds. So up to this point, we know that stocks are riskier than bonds, and cash is the least risky. And when I mean risky is that the value, or how fast the value of your investment can drop, right? That's what I mean by risk. How fast can $100 turn into $50, right? And stocks can do that for you real quick. Cash, $100 is going to be worth $100. It's just going to be sitting there. So that's why I have stocks as riskiest, cash as the least risky. All right, so in the next lesson, we're going to go ahead and talk about an investment that's still appropriate for your cash. It's a great way to get interest for your cash, and it's not as risky as bonds or stocks. We're going to talk about certificates of deposits, or CDs for short. So join me in that next video, and we'll see you there.